Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and once again I'm checking my volumes for Nick Burafeto, Mr. B, because I forgot to do it before I started this. I also forgot to get more coffee, but we're gonna make it. Before we get going, Link to is doing another really cool deal this morning until midnight Pacific time tonight. $2,500 minimum investments at a 5% and a 5% discount available for the following companies: Ripple, Cerebras, Automation Anywhere, Stripe, Comulo, I don't know if I said that right, Tanium, Deal, Dune Analytics. 5% discount until midnight Pacific time tonight. I've seen this movie right here, folks. In 2008, in 2008, these guys lost their minds, okay, on CNBC. These are the guys that normally toe the propaganda line for their masters, whoever, normally Democrats that are in power. And in 2008, I watched Jim Cramer go off the rails. They reined him in, and he never again went off the rails. But this guy, I'm drawing, Rick Santelli, he's one of those guys who will tell the truth even in the midst of all the propaganda machine. Maybe he's just a little older. But I saw them lose their minds like this in the financial crisis on CNBC. They're tired of pretending like everything's okay.
Let me just ask then, since we're on the topic, Rick, how you feel about tariffs?
You know how I feel about tariffs? It's a bargaining chip. And many of the tariffs with China are still on. Once again, the moderators don't drill down on the two aspects of tariffs, but they do drill down on other areas that make no economic sense whatsoever.
But you don't think the tariffs raise prices? Just as a mathematical economic...
Listen, prices are going up no matter what, Andrew. Whether you do it on the tax side, whether you do it on the tariff side, our policies are silly. We can't be Santa Claus. All those programs aren't policies, they're promises that never get by Congress, and each one of them has a cost we can't afford because we've done this before. When you prepay and you make policies that don't make economic sense, you may think you're getting a benefit. Look at what we learned yesterday. Finally, wages reach 2019, but it doesn't reflect how much they've gone up since 2019. If you're out there and you're a young person, study up. Study up. All these superstars that made recommendations in such a timely fashion yesterday, maybe they don't feel the pain of what's going on, but I feel bad that they can't buy houses and insurance. You think these prices of insurance are going to go down, Andrew? You think people in Florida that could barely hold on to their homes could afford 300% increases in their insurance?
There is no question about that. It's a very true statement.
Right, so why don't we talk about it? Why don't we talk about it?
Well, then there's other issues around climate issues and other things that are affecting...
Climate issues? What in the hell does that have to do with the economy being a disaster right now?
Issues? What issues did you learn last night? The ABC people were like a turkey shoot.
Let me just ask then,
that shows you how detached these weirdo propagandists like Andrew Ross Sorkin are. That he would bring up climate while everybody is paying crazy amounts more for their groceries and all this stuff. He brings up climate. You think anybody gives a rat's ass about climate who's going to the grocery store and they can barely feed their family? That is insane. And when you start seeing any of these guys on these propaganda channels start to go nuts like that, that's an indication enough's enough of the craziness. Here's David Rubenstein, and he's talking about, he's one of the, if there ever was one of the he's not even a tool, he's one of the guys that runs this whole propaganda propaganda machine.
David, let's talk about the markets right now. The last time you were here, I think you told us that you did not expect the Federal Reserve would lower interest rates before the election. It looks very much like they will next week.
Yes, I was wrong. I'm wrong a lot. I thought the Federal Reserve would say, look, we want to stay out of the election process. But now it's so overwhelmingly obvious that a Fed cut is coming that I was wrong, and I'm wrong a lot. I don't think the Fed in its 100-year history has ever telegraphed a Fed cut as much as they have. They've made it clear they're going to cut.
Is it because the economy is in such trouble at this point? What do you see from the companies that you all oversee?
I wouldn't say the economy is in trouble, but it's clear that the economy is slowing down a little bit, and it's also clear inflation's coming down. The most recent reports show inflation's down, so I think the Fed is correct in saying they should make a cut. The issue is just 25 or 50 basis points the next meeting, and we don't know yet.
Those interest rate cuts are coming. And then you got some actual common sense right here from Ron Paul.
Federal spending is so out of control that
this is what's caused your inflation.
It only took 3 months for the federal debt to increase by $1 trillion to over 33.
The one thing they won't talk about on CNBC, which is the debt.
$1 trillion. In contrast, it took almost 200 years for the federal debt to reach $1 trillion. So the federal government racked up more debt in the last 3 months than it did from the ratification of the U.S. Constitution until Ronald Reagan's first term. There will be even more shocking increases in the future, since according to some experts, federal debt is increasing by approximately $14 billion a day. Those tempted to blame the increases on President Biden, the Democratic Congress, or the COVID-related spending spree should consider the debt increase by around $1 trillion a year in 2017 and 2018, years when the Republicans controlled the White House and both houses of Congress.
Okay.
Federal spending is...
Check this out. John Deaton was mentioned on the Joe Rogan show, but actually in a bad context, which is not true. I'm wondering if this guy right here was sent by the Elizabeth Warren people to put this, kind of float this out there. Watch this.
Elizabeth Warren.
What this guy's talking about in this show is how Google, through their algorithms control everybody. And then he's talking about how Elizabeth Warren is the only person that's bringing them up to break them up with antitrust violations. And so what he's trying to do is act like John Deaton was put up by the forces of Google, which is not true.
Elizabeth Warren, they want her gone. Why? Because
That's not why we want her gone. The Google antitrust is not why anybody I know wants her gone. It's not why John Deaton wants her gone. In fact, John Deaton, I'm pretty sure, would be against a lot that the Google's doing.
One of the only Dems who's gone on record, written statement, the whole thing, calling for Google's breakup. They want her gone. And Deaton, I guess, just won the nomination to oppose her for the Republicans. They are going to do everything possible to put this Republican into office in Massachusetts.
Okay, excuse me. I had COVID. I guess it was COVID last week, and it's just kind of hung with me. But I popped another ivermectin yesterday, by the way. So I think it's loosening up. By the way, in the description of this video, I have the 10% discount off on the wellness company. And they have the medical emergency kits where they have ivermectin in them. They have doctors on staff you can talk to too. China to cut, that's in the description of this video. I think the code's DAI. Breaking China to cut rates by up to 50 BPS on a $5 trillion of mortgages to boost consumption. So cutting interest rates is about to happen worldwide. Bitcoin's expected to then end the year at new highs, regardless of who wins the U.S. election. That's Standard Chartered. They're saying it could reach 125,000 if Trump wins, 75 if Comrade Kamala wins. Uphold, look at Uphold putting out XRP ads here. Power's fast, low cost, cross-border. Learn how they aim to transform global finance. Then we got, this is another shot from Ubri Connect, Ripple's Ripple Impact Ubri Connect that they've got going on. Then this is a clip from Gemini where they're talking about how 3/4 of crypto owners will consider a presidential candidate's digital asset policies when voting.
And the vast majority of crypto owners in the U.S., according to you guys, plan to consider a candidate's digital asset policies when they vote for the next president. 73%. What does consider mean, though? Does it mean a top issue, or it's just in the back of their head?
I do not think it's single issue, right? It's just consider. So what we found in our State of Crypto report is that 3/4 of U.S. crypto holders are considering policies for when they go to the ballot box this fall. So really interesting. I don't think it's single issue. I think that's part of their overall.
Okay, look at this. This was a Motley Fool article. Is Ripple XRP a millionaire maker? Well, I wouldn't be here if I didn't think it was. I've been here since 2013 because I think it is. I'm sure that's a FUD article. I have no idea. The test is live. Prometheum's doors are open for crypto clients, and the firm is set to treat 5 tokens as securities, including Ethereum's ETH. Is somebody, the SEC, the industry, Prometheum CEO is about to be proven right? And then there's this. I'm going to finish here because in DAIXRP.com, I have a theory about Ripple, Circle, Stellar, okay? And I've always had a theory about all the major industry players in the crypto industry. And I think that I believe that there is a shift going on right now that many have not noticed yet. But I think it goes right in line with what my theory's always been about Bitcoin, Ethereum, the prototyping, and then the bringing in of the real technologies that are going to change finance. And that's what we're going to talk about in DAIXRP.com. First, I'll let you watch this clip where Perry-Ann Boring and Danelle Dixon from Stellar are on stage.
Where do you see the industry going between now and the next 5 years? Where is the biggest focus of uptake for tokenization?
I think everything is being tokenized. I think it's really interesting to see. We have money market funds on Stellar. We have bonds. You have just U.S. dollar-backed assets all over the world. We have, I think, 46 different assets in different parts of the world. And I think tokenization is going to move to, you got to tokenize bank deposits. You can tokenize just like the ledger that you have internally. You don't even need to issue like a stable coin or an asset. You can just tokenize your ledger and put that on to make it work really seamlessly with the systems that you have. So I think it is sort of like the powerful piece of this technology, and it delivers a ton of value to consumers and to businesses all over. I think importantly, it also helps with this technology from the business side because it actually creates an opportunity for the technology that's open and it's public to improve over time, so you're not sort of stuck in this notion of dealing with antiquated software, which I think is amazing for businesses that are doing it.
Okay, here we go. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Away we go.